Yeah, Gus reminded we had a shot.
Good morning, good afternoon. What time is it now? I've lost track of time.
It's now
10:30.
Still the morning.
Good morning from the Blur here at the Skibby residence.
And what a confusing morning it is. So yeah,
We are not going to get into playoff tiebreakers because no one knows what is going on.
We think best guess here. Right now, last game of the season, we have Twins and Yankees,
which is going to be a good matchup. Let's get that straight
great.
Off the bat.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Preseason rankings: 1 and 2 teams. So it's a nice way to end the regular season here. From what we can gather, the scenarios are: if the Twins win, they become the 3 seed in the playoffs, moving the Rockies down to the 5th seed. If they lose, the Rockies then become the 3 seed, and the Twins become the 5 seed.
Unless they lose by more than 17.
And in that case,
the Yankees somehow get in.
The Yankees get in, and the Twins are out.
Yeah, and we did talk about that, and I think the Twins are well aware of that. So I think they have plans to throw the game if it gets anywhere near that, and just end it before it gets to 17. So it looks like the curse of the number 1 will strike again for the Yankees, as they are barely hanging on for a playoff spot, and doesn't look good.
And it also looks like even years continue to be trouble years for the Yankees.
Very true.
You know, they got in, wild card last year, I believe.
Yeah, first wild card team to win 3 in a row to win the championship.
So if you get in, you never know what's going to happen, but unfortunately, it looks like this might be the year the Yankees just don't get in. And I kind of, Ben, we've talked about this a little bit. It's nice to see new teams get in, and it's nice to see the Astros do better and the Expos do better, because the past years you've showed up and you know who's going to be playing Monday afternoon.
Yep. Yeah, it's you can almost lock it in, and there were some nice offseason moves by the Astros and the Expos, and that really worked out. The Astros didn't have the season they wanted, but the Expos coming, making their first playoff berth, being the lock at the 4 seed right now, getting that first home game in the wild card is going to be big. And you gotta, I know I'm sitting here with 2 Expos players, but they're the hot team. They've won their last 3, and you said what, 5-1 in your last 6?
I believe so, and that would include a win over the Yankees, a win over the Twins.
Oh, Chris with a shot up,
got him,
the right field side, and Scott makes the play. So sorry, let's get back into this game. Jackson on the mound.
Yeah, the Yankees are going to their ace in this one, which is probably a smart move. I said in a podcast back in May or June, I believe it was May, that I thought Jackson Crosley is
fair. That one curved and stayed fair.
And the Twins have to be happy Spencer Bogart is back and continues to mash as he usually does. They struggle a little bit without him.
It was just hard. I think they struggled just finding any continuity.
Yeah.
I think they couldn't get into a groove. Maybe there was a little more pressure on.
Do we know if they're batting
players.
5 this game?
I don't know. I can find out. Give me 1 second. Let me go down to the dugout.
We'll find out here in a second.
And so what I was saying is the Yankees going to their ace, Jackson Crosley, who I think is the toughest matchup in the SWBL. Now, that being said, I don't have to face Jimmy. I've never faced Jimmy. Jackson is the toughest matchup and also has the best hair out there. So it's a pretty good combination.
Spent a lot of time in South America, I was told. Maybe hanging out with the cartel. Slightly.
He's also
mini Pablo Escobar.
He has, he actually has a new birth certificate that says Pancho on it.
We should have started taking pictures of him on Friday, and then again Saturday, and then again Sunday and Monday, because his facial hair has been decreasing every day that's gone by. He's gone home and trimmed a little bit more off.
If it's not working, you gotta adjust, and I think that's part of it. Just trimming a little bit of facial hair off. Maybe that helps the Yankees here. But
so he's pretty clean shaven, but for a pretty serious stash right now for you folks who can't see on the live stream.
We will try to get a close up of him in a moment for sure. Looks like Spencer's going to take the bump for the Twins. Of course, you got Chris out in left, and then Corey McCarthy out in right.
And we had kind of wondered, if the Twins lose and they end up as a 5 seed away team in the wild card game, We kind of figured they'd throw Spencer because the Expos had not seen Spencer yet. As Scott goes,
And
yard.
and I'm also going from memory here, but I have a feeling that Spencer's probably had some success against the Spos in the past several years. Now, this is a new look Spos, but that history is a little bit on his side there.
you know, we haven't seen Spencer yet this year. We did see Will, their other pitcher, so it would make logical sense to pitch someone new, but we'll just see. I don't know. I guess it's kind of dependent on how Spencer does here. Maybe this is his warm-up game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that they're going to at least try to get him, you know, it's probably a smart move, getting him some innings, see what he's got going on before the playoffs, with him missing 4 games this season.
Now, that said, it's almost kind of a win-win for the Twins here because throwing Will Rath is not a bad option for a playoff game.
No.
I mean, you got 1A, 1B, and doesn't know. I don't know how you toss them up. But
Yeah.
Either way, I don't like hitting against either of them.
You know, that's something that I think this season has brought to life.
Bashed. That's deep.
Sam,
It hung up there.
fresh out of California, mashes one.
And you guys got a nice little look of Jackson walking across there. As you can probably see his staff and his flow as Kevin Poley
Going yard
back
two.
to back to back. And there's only been a few. I think we've had a few, 4 back to back to back.
Yeah, a few.
And I think there's only been 1 or 2 5.
Yeah.
You don't see those very often.
Jackson been an unsung hero of the Yankees offense. Obviously, a lot of the guys who've been around know that with more at bats, he can do some damage. But
That's a trend that really started a couple of years ago, and he's been able to continue to improve upon and escalate that trend over the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think if anyone was happy that John could not make this year, it would be Jackson.
Right.
It definitely would not be me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say happy in the sense because we miss obviously playing with John Callaway. He's a good guy, but Jackson made the most of his opportunity this year.
For sure.
He has, I don't know if he still has, but after the first 2 days, day and a half, he was leading the Yankees in home runs.
I suspect with Scott Poley, I doubt that trend is held, but
Yeah, Scott has seemed to pick it up, and he's a freak of nature.
yeah, I actually called a game earlier in the season with Scott, and we were talking about the big boost that he got from Jackson. And he said he regretted not maybe letting
hit the
him
fence
hit earlier in his
rounding,
career
but he's going to
more.
hold it first.
But it's also got to be a bit of a relief for him, for Scott as the captain of the Yankees, to know that, you know, it's not a big hole in his lineup with Jackson there.
So
and
what does that
missing John.
What does that do for next year when John returns? How do the Yankees play that?
I don't know. Do they go to 5? Do they pick and choose their 4th? It's going to make some difficult decisions, maybe for the first time in a while for Scott.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see how things go when John comes back next year.
So that's next year where they could have problems. Today, guys, they have 0 problems so far.
No.
Things are really looking nice for the
They
Yanks
put
in
up
the first
4
inning here.
4 home runs in the first inning.
Yep. Corey making the play out in left center there to get the first out.
I've always wondered who takes pictures of Kevin Poley, and now I have my answer. As you may be able to see in your screen, Sam Bakula has the camera. I didn't think pictures of him existed.
No,
I assumed that no one took them.
always
Oh.
the camera.
Puts it up.
Sounds.
It's gonna
is it gonna
be.
fly?
It went.
It just got over through the tree too.
His second home run of the inning.
Avoiding those limbs out there in right center.
Sam, I hope you got a picture of that one.
You know, you press the button
Oh,
and as Jackson takes
Jackson
about 3
goes
steps
out.
forward to get it.
Jackson probably hit that in the grass.
Yeah, he ran up to get it. So that ends the first inning, and I mean, they put up 4 home runs, so I think it's 5-1.
Oh, I think some of those had people on. I want to say it's 6. We'll get a clarification.
Somewhere around there. It's difficult to tell with the scoreboard. Sometimes it's not updated all the time, but from this angle, it's hard to see. Either way,
Yeah.
the
Sammy, what's the
Yankees
score?
have started off fast, and that's what they needed.
6 sounds right. We'll go with 6.
Yeah. Sam thinks it's 6-1. We're gonna roll with that until we're told otherwise.
So
It
like
is.
we said, they have to win. They need a 17-run win
Yeah.
to take that last playoff spot from the Twins.
You know, something to keep in mind as this game goes on too is how long, you know, how many runs do you go, but keeping the game going to get that 17 run.
Yeah, it's an interesting, and the Twins are going to have to talk about it, especially if it gets closer.
Yep.
I'm not sure how they're going to play it, but you would think.
That's high, but I don't think it's got the distance, folks.
All right.
Holy
Scott
mix.
makes the play.
So you're right. It's going to be interesting to see if it gets closer to that 17-run limit, if they throw the game and keep it at 15 and just lose by 15 and make the playoffs. I think that's what they would want to do, but
Brett, going back into your SWBL memory book, has there been a time where a game has to be, I don't want to say thrown, but maybe finagled a little bit so that the outcome of the playoffs could...
that's a good question. I
don't
not
know that I
remembered-
remember that ever happening.
I've not remembered it being this close in recent years where a team can like pick and choose where they want to play if they throw a game here or there. Like the Brewers, like the Brewers earlier could have.
Oh, and that just goes foul,
Very-
saving Chris the at bat.
Very, very smart play by Jackson Crosley there.
Yeah, he could have let that, could have picked it up, tried to get him, but I think that was probably the smart play.
Yeah.
The Brewers could have let the one go. I mean, they won today, and they had the 2 seed either way, so they could have chose their opponent basically. If they would have beaten the Rockies, would have played the Braves.
Shot up the middle
play
there
the
for a
Rockies.
single for Chris Metter.
Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. So they beat the Braves, they beat the Rockies, and they play the Rockies. If they would have lost to the Rockies, they could have played the Braves. So they could have thrown the game there, and if they thought they could get away with beating the Braves, but
I think in some sense you're almost kind of playing with fire a little bit. You don't want to make the wiffle ball gods angry at you by not going out and giving it your all.
And I don't think that Peter's MO, his history has always been to make sure his team does as good as they can, and he traditionally ends up in that 5 hole. So I think just making sure that his team goes into the playoffs with some good momentum, I think that was probably the biggest focus for him.
I think for us fans of wiffle ball, it also sets up a very, very interesting and exciting 2-3 matchup with the Rockies and the Rock Brewers. Yeah, if that's how it plays out.
Yeah.
seems like it. Yeah, it could be. Very well could be. I'm interested to see because that's been a storied rivalry, the Brewers Rockies in the past.
Another storyline though, got to mention you, Brett. If it ends up where the Rockies are the 5 seed against the 4 seed,
Oof.
that's and then the Expos take it. Imagine what your brother Blake is going to be feeling about letting you go to another franchise.
That is
that's a lot of things to happen in that scenario, but just that
if it ends up like that, that's
anticipation for that game is huge.
Yeah, it's people switching
Little fly
teams,
ball over to Jackson, who makes the plate easily.
and they get out of it.
Jackson, a 2-time Gold Glove winner on the mound.
Pitchers who can field, boys.
Yeah.
Pitchers who can field their position.
Yep.
Very important.
But yeah, it's definitely an interesting year. I think people changing teams, other teams getting better, it just makes the league more exciting. It makes
Exactly.
It makes
Let's hope that this is the trend for the future, because
absolutely.
it does make the season a lot more fun. And one thing I was going to mention earlier is this year has been a lot about your second pitcher. Having 2, if you think about a lot of the teams, even the teams that didn't make the playoffs or won't make the playoffs, I mean, you have solid 1 and 2s. Yeah. You don't have just that one guy almost all the time.
And the Astros have shown, without David Olderman, they still had Cam.
And
as-
stayed
Pretty
on.
neat. I hope that's on camera.
That is impressive.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
So I agree with you guys. This has been a fun season, and I think we're all looking forward to another really fun season.
Oh,
in
what a
in
place.
just 8 months away. But
Yeah.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that this could also be a really fun off season.
It could be.
Given what's gone on recently, and a lot of guys on 1-year deals, and a lot of guys with contracts expiring, and with the new shift away from the solid 5 every year playoff teams to some teams that can compete, we could be in for a really fun hot stove coming up here.
Absolutely.
And
It could be fun to watch.
You're right. And we're unsure. The Royals will probably be back. The Athletics will probably be back, right?
Diamondbacks are coming back.
So the Marlins will probably take a year off.
Potentially.
But those guys want in.
There-
could
I
get
think
a 10.
I
there's
just said
also,
goodbye to them when they left. They all want in.
yeah, and there's always the option of going to 10 teams too.
Sam has talked about 10 because it would just be 2 divisions of 5 teams, and it's easy enough to schedule. Like 9 is more of a hassle to schedule than 8, obviously.
Yeah.
But you got to
10
squeeze
might be
in.
insane.
How many extra games do you have to squeeze in to get everyone 10 games if you have 10 teams? I mean, there's at least 9 extra games there, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Math is hard.
I'd say not.
I
Yeah, 9
think
other
there
games.
would, in that scenario, if we go to 10 teams, there would be a scenario where you don't play every team every year.
That could be where it's like
Where-
rivalry years.
yeah.
and-
If
How
you
do you feel about that though? Because I tend to want to play every team every year.
I would rather play every team
If
every
I'm not
year.
in the Yankees division, I better have a game against the Yankees. So
Yeah.
that Jackson Crosby can maybe look stupid. Like
Yeah.
that just has to happen.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, Sam's a wizard with the schedule, so you got to trust what he's going to be
Foul
able to
ball
do.
there, but it was a jack shot.
Yeah.
You got to trust that he'll figure something out where it is creative, it is enjoyable. He does it every year. He rolls with the punches too, and the changes. I mean, obviously, this is a great example of that this year, and how he was able to do that. But it would be interesting. I would love to see the Marlins back as a unit too.
And we know they have, John, you know better than anyone, they have plans for their future in the SWBL.
I've heard some rumors that they're
They-
trying to franchise of the year it next year.
Yeah,
So
they did love coming up and playing. Unfortunately, they didn't get a win this year, but that was kind of to be expected. It's their
Yeah.
first year in the league.
it
hard to adjust.
would have been miraculous if they pulled one out. It really would have been.
There have only, so in the franchise era and as teams have expanded, there have only been a few teams to be a brand new franchise and not go 0-10.
That's-
The tradition is that you lose all your games.
You got to cut your teeth, and you got to cut your teeth for 3, 4, sometimes 5 years.
Yeah.
Expos started in 2016. I'm pretty sure on that. This would be our 5th year and first playoff spot, and that's probably
Yeah.
what I would expect for most teams. Big spot for Crosby, but he's not going to come up with it.
And if that is the case, that's the
2
same
outs
year the
inning over.
Astros were founded. And while we still don't have a playoff berth, that year, I believe if that was the first year, you guys did go 1-9, and we went 1-9 our first year. I know that it was our 5th year,
I think
this was our 5th season.
Then we might have started
but
15.
I thought you had at least one more year.
I think we did too,
before
so
we
we
made.
might have had 15, yeah.
Because we were an expansion team
A year
once
after the Expos, I believe.
when the Cardinals were disbanded.
If only there was a way
We
to
were the
figure this
expansion
out.
team to fill in that hole. And if anybody read my article, you can learn all about that. It is on the website.
Good
Outsiders-
plug there, Benway.
Outsiders
Very
perspective
strong.
there.
it was a great article, and John, you also had
John had a
everyone had
fantastic article.
Everyone had good articles. I love the, any
Oh,
what a!
hits a
Rope to
piss
the wall.
missile.
I don't know
To
if
the-
Scott wasn't paying attention or if that was hit that hard, but that
He might have
right
whiplash.
past
We
him.
might need Will Rath to go check on Scott on that one.
is cranked his neck, turn around trying to see that. Unbelievable. So
While we're plugging things, I will plug Will Rath, best team doc in the game. Glad to have him out here.
Absolutely. You know what? That might have been the hardest ball Edlo Donovan's ever hit in his whole career. And it's perfect that it's Edlo because it wasn't a home run.
he doesn't hit many singles, does he?
He does not. No.
So gentlemen, you mentioned my article earlier. I don't want to talk about that, but now that voting has
Yeah.
concluded,
And
the
if that
bucket, get in
doesn't
the
show
bucket.
you the talent of Chris Metter, ladies and gentlemen.
so wait, does that not count? So back to what I was saying. Now that Hall of Fame voting has concluded, where do we think the votes are going to fall for one Kevin Weetucker?
It's going to be close. We were discussing it earlier. There's a lot of hope amongst the league. Oh, and a shot right down the right line.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was wrong by you.
I think amongst the league, a lot of the players who have been around for a long time, especially after John's article too, there's a lot of hope that he gets in, and absolutely deserving of it. It's just going to come down to, does he have enough votes to get the 80%?
And doing some polling, outside polling, I kind of talked around with some people. Sounds like he is getting a decent amount of votes, so we're just hopeful that he can pull it off. But when I read both of your guys' articles, I was ready to run through a brick wall and play. Like, I was so excited, so pumped up, and it's just great that people write articles not only to vote for the Hall of Fame, but just to provide more content for the SWBL.
No, I appreciate that, Brett. I don't think it takes an article for all of us to get jacked up.
Yeah.
For the season here. I think most of us do it because
we love
how
the
much fun
league
it is.
and we're devoted here, and but I appreciate the kind words on it. It can be kind of intimidating, right, in an article that everybody's going to read, but at the same time, you know, it was nice to actually hear from maybe some voices that, of course, people know in the league, but maybe haven't.
Problems. It's down.
Really,
we've got McCarthy running to third. He's going to stop there. Ball's in the mound.
Hey, one down.
First to third run for McCarthy. Very, very savvy there. Going to bring in Metter.
As Edlow
with
pushes
two
it
on.
to right field, and you don't see Edlow go to right field.
Big
No,
hit
that's
by
two
Edlow. Big
singles
spot. Big spot.
in a row for Edlow Donnan.
Yeah.
Maybe something's changed in his game. Oh!
Smoked off of
Smoked.
Foley's hand.
He's
out
there.
He
No.
almost had it.
Oh, I
too.
don't know that
if
I
he had
agree
made
with
that
call,
play,
but
that
I'm
would have
not in
been
the game.
extremely impressive.
Yeah, that would have been. I mean, there's been some great defensive plays. Kevin Poley has made a few.
Luke Bacula
Bacula
has made
John
quite a
out in
few.
the outfield.
believe,
Bender, you've had a few.
Mhm.
I mean, it seems like the defense this year has been better than ever.
Yeah. And there's the Spencer
Boom
Bogart that
City,
we know,
right
and he
there.
says, "Okay, enough of this."
That
single
looks familiar.
stuff.
Yeah.
We've seen that a few times before.
Welcome back, Spencer
He's
Bogart.
refreshed from his lake trip.
Must have been relaxing. Tree. Twins have probably come back and, if not taken the lead, made it
Oh, Little
closer than
Shoreland's
the
gonna be
Yankees
tough.
needed
Oh.
to be, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, you would think the Yankees need to give up 0, 1, 2 runs
Mhm.
to have a chance to get in the playoffs, and they've probably given up 7 or so. So
But,
they
you
need
know,
to put up a lot.
And low for the third time
But you
in
know,
the
guys,
inning
I
here.
mean, if any team can put up big numbers in an inning, back-to-back innings too, it is the Yankees. I
It
mean,
is.
You know, there's a reason they're called the Bronx Bombers, even in this league.
They've got the Bash Bros. I mean,
They do.
Yeah.
You know, and
And as
Kevin
we
and
talk-
Jackson have been
yeah,
solid.
that's not
for
very
them,
fun
too.
though. That pitch is terrible.
And as we talk about, you know, the new players coming in, Kevin has really grown in his own. His first year in their league, he struggled. And,
Yeah, when he
you
came
know,
back from after playing baseball at Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson baseball player
Yep.
comes in first year or two in the league, struggled mightily.
Mhm.
He got better and better every year, and
Yep.
now he's almost on par with Scott. Scott
Yep.
is just a freak of nature, but Kevin is right there with him at this point. He hits everything.
Yep. Yeah, on top of all the extra stuff he does for the league too. So, you know, of all the guys, I mean, maybe Sam, with as much as he does, obviously being the commissioner of the league and running everything all weekend. But
Probably about 4 inches.
Kevin
less on
Kevin
that
is
one,
here
folks.
day after day, taking photos, doing media. Probably the hardest working member of the front office.
Yeah.
He's never put out a bad graphic.
And he always has a good attitude, no matter how tired he is. Just a great person.
You know, with
and a great player.
with the amount of work that he does on those graphics, you'd expect one to be bad. He's never done one bad graphic. Every single one of his has been straight fire.
Yeah, and Sam Skibby does.
Oh,
baby.
That is crushed.
and he hangs on to it.
Low Donnan, ladies and gentlemen, will end the inning and sulk away to pick
that'll
up
be
that home run
7.
ball.
Good job, Ed.
I will be right back. I'm going to go get a score update
Okay.
because I'm not sure we know
reach
what
into
it
my
is. for
cooler
sure.
right down there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
we need a beer.
Hold that out.
beer
It's a little
refresh.
hot, but if you drink it quick, it's fine.
Okay.
Either way, don't remember what we're talking. Yeah, I'll take a Golden Light. Ben, where us old guys are walking like we, you know.
I'm a little worried about you. You gonna be able to make it through this playoff game?
I am sore. I just need to get out there and move around a little bit in the outfield.
Need
I'll
to
be
borrow my
okay.
sweatpants?
I guess we'll have to wait and see how things go.
I hope not. I kind of need them to get loose too. But the things you'll do to sacrifice for a teammate, as we are.
We're teammates this year, John. First time in, you know, we played before. I believe.
I'm a little hazy on
I'm-
the early years.
I mean, it's been 10 plus years at this point. but I do think we played before. I'm not sure what season it was, but it was back in the early days.
I've been waiting to tell this story, and I've never had the avenue to do it, and there might be one or two people listening, so I'll tell the story now. Back in the second season, 2-on-2, back in the day, I had just turned 16, or I guess I was going to be 17, but I had a license I could drive up here. And I would drive up here by myself and make Andrew walk without giving him a ride.
See, that is, if you're not on his team, that is good. That is putting him in his place. That you got to walk up here. You got to do what you're doing. Sorry about that.
I could
Sorry
never
about that.
imagine
Sorry
doing
about
that
that,
to Peter,
folks.
but it happened to Andrew on the regular.
And I like that story. I think that's pretty good. You gotta put him in his place a little bit. It's not. It's wiffle ball. We are competing.
You or I just cracked. Well,
Thank you.
okay.
Good. It's all right. You got another one.
All right.
It was 9-6 before the inning started. So what is the score now?
9-6 still.
9 to
Yeah. So Scott's on first with a leadoff single. 9-6, like we said. The Yankees need quite a bit of runs to keep this.
So that bat is one of the league's most entertaining players for sure.
Sam
Sam
Bagwell,
Bagwell.
he's a fan favorite, that's for sure. This is a fan favorite game. Jackson and Sam seem to be at the top of a lot of people's lists.
Oh, no you don't. No you don't.
So Chris Metter doesn't call it, but just reaches over and nonchalantly grabs it with one hand.
Corey called it.
Yeah, Corey
And
called
Metter
it.
told him, "Hey man, that's my job on
I'm
this
not
team.
even saying anything. I'm just
I
gonna
do that.
grab it.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane." Great play by Chris Metter.
That was.
Cannot believe he got that.
So we got Pete here hanging out. He is the second seed captain of the second seed Brewers.
El Capitan.
So who this game has implications for you guys this game. Who are you hoping to play?
Brett, obviously that seems to be an impossible question to answer. You don't want to disrespect any team in particular. However,
But I will.
But I'm going to do it.
if the Yankees were to win this game, I think that would send the Rockies into the 3 seed. And we just had a good game against them. We kept our 2 best pitchers off the mound. And also saw off all 3 of their pitchers, so it's hard for me to not say Rockies to that question.
And Pete, to your point, I think that's the matchup that everyone else wants to see. I think everyone else would like to see a 2-3 Brewers-Rockies
We had talked
playoff game. That seems right. That
we
seems
had
like a good way
talked
to end the
about
season.
the previous years, the Rockies, Brewers, kind of had a love-hate relationship. We played you guys a lot when I was with the Rockies, and we always seemed to play you guys in the playoffs. So it's a big rivalry, I feel like.
It is. And
I would say it's the biggest in this league. Year in, year out.
Yep.
2 of the more storied franchises that seem to play each other a lot. With teams changing, with Expos not being in the race, Astros not being in the race a lot, and then the Royals kind of, disbanding here and there. It seems like the Brewers and the Rockies have been there
Pete,
since day one.
Pete and Brett, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think either team's ever missed the playoffs.
The Brewers have. The Rockies are the only team
Okay.
never missed.
To never miss. That's true.
Only team in the franchise.
And that'll continue. So
It
maybe
will continue.
maybe next year.
And they had a shot. They had a shot for first seed
Yep.
earlier this morning even.
Yep.
So
They needed the win against the Braves, which they weren't able to get.
unfortunately, that if the Twins win here, that knocks the Rockies down to the 5th seed.
Yeah.
And think of how tight that is.
Yep.
You could go from 1 seed to 5th seed just like that.
I think that's, as we talked about earlier, that's a testament to all of the teams in the league and how close this season has been.
Mm-hmm.
The lack of parity is exciting and truly remarkable.
Oh.
That's another Bogey
That's
bomb.
another.
And
That could come back fair, but I don't know that it will.
It would need a lot of luck, but big shot from Spencer.
He was
Bogey.
around second by the time it landed.
that was demolished. That went over that center field pine tree.
That was far.
Just a hill right in the middle of where I wanted to park. Good hit, Spencer.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll take that.
So we talked earlier. I'm good with the 4 seed. I'd rather be a home.
Corey
team.
McCarthy takes it
I'd rather be the
to
fourth.
left field for the home runs.
And Corey's been
Corey's been a great,
Great.
of course, addition to the Twins because that's what happens. The the Royals bring in a decent player, some potential, he does well for them.
They poach him.
Because of course the Royals always seem to find somebody who can play. And then the Twins poach him because they're just too lazy to actually go out and look and scout anybody.
Yeah. So what they took, remember Jimmy Cole came one year.
Big
and then
hack from
Spencer
Edlow there.
poached him.
Yep. And he won a championship with the Twins.
That's right.
That year.
And Corey McCarthy last year.
Tyler
in
Flackney.
National. That's right.
Same scenario.
Tyler Flackney played 1 year and then
Went to the
coached by
Twins.
What is Bogat offering?
And now
these
Corey
free agents
McCarthy
to
is
come
the
join
third
Twins?
Good question.
triplet in that scenario.
And Corey McCarthy last year was not only the SWBL Rookie of the Year, Rookie Hitter of the Year, or just
Rookie of the Year.
He was
Yep.
the National Rookie of the Year.
Yep. He was, which is, of course we're a hitting league and we get some national recognition for our players, but to win National Rookie of the Year is extremely impressive, and
Might be the only one we've ever had. I mean, it's impressive.
it would be, you would have to pick the brain of Sam Skibby to know whether or not that he was the first or not. So
And while we say that, we have Sam Skibby.
we do. Sam,
So
we were just discussing, was Corey McCarthy the first National Rookie of the Year that the SWBL has ever produced?
Correct.
So he was the first.
We Ty Butler got close, but Ty Butler happened to be the same year that Tyler
As Brian
Flackney-
Benware, third team National Rookie.
No, as Tyler Flackney for the HRL.
Yeah, he's a
but
good
Tyler
player.
eventually played in the SWBL as well
we've been talking about how the Twins poach players.
from the Royals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Will we see Tyler Flackney back in the SWBL in the future?
He has always wanted to make a return. It would be great to have him back. He's always had connections in this league through Gus and Ty.
And Leon Cherry, who still unfortunately couldn't come. Hi, Leon.
Spencer continues to mash. The
That's-
Twins are happy.
That's
he's
going to
back.
be a problem for teams in the playoffs.
He's pretty good at wiffle ball, guys.
That's going to be a big problem if you're not on the Twins if he does that in the playoffs.
Absolutely. So at this point, it looks like the Twins are up. I'm not sure the score is. Corey takes the
and it gets the home run off the foul pole.
PVC.
So it looks like they got 7 there, fellas.
And it looks like they're up a decent amount, so the Yankees might be throwing in the towel. at this
We
point.
are seeing the end of the Yankees season right here, I think, folks.
Curse of the number 1 comes
Yeah.
back again.
That's a shame. They were such a good team last year. They just didn't quite get it going this year.
And no team has ever won the championship after being pre-ranked number 1.
Is that what, am I assuming
You know
that
what
means
the
no
interest-
team's ever won back-to-back championships either then?
Nobody has ever won back to
'Cause
back.
usually
Oh
those
wait,
that
the
were-
Rays did. The Rays did before it was
But the Royals were ranked number 1 because they went 10-0 the
Right.
year before that.
right.
Paul
Yep.
Castellano magic right there.
Yeah.
One of the most decorated players
And
in
there's a
SWBL
reason
history.
he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yes. I never got to see a game where Chris Metter and Paul Castellano played together, even though they played together for years.
Yeah.
I was told.
You know, you forget the
I don't-
teams that
I
used
don't
to be
forget.
around.
I don't forget. They were pretty fun to watch.
They were fun to watch. I did like the Rays, and then they were the Phillies, right? Phillies were-
The Rays disbanded and that was the year.
Hey, good shot, Jack.
I believe that was the year that Paul went to the Royals.
That's right. Okay.
Um,
the Rays disbanded,
And then
they started the Phillies.
Yeah, and then the Phillies back to back, 2
Well,
pitches, 2 home runs.
Guys, the Yankees are kind of pissed now.
They may have hurt us.
Yeah, and the Twins started out as the Phillies. They just had a name change. Not sure of the reasoning behind that decision, but
My
Oh, keep
idea-
going.
he still got him
I
even
gotta
off the
imagine if
bobble.
he hustled out of that box, I think he would have been safe.
My idea is they switched to the Twins. I think Metter is a Minnesota fan.
He is a Twins
would
fan,
be
a
my-
Vikings
my
fan.
guess.
That is my guess as well.
How does he sleep at night?
Minnesota Wild fan.
Yep.
Buzz,
Did-
your girlfriend.
I think he
Woof,
has
woof.
family in Minnesota, or he just happens to have latched on, because as far as I know, he's never lived in Minnesota. Kevin Foley
Whoa!
just hit one almost to the bucket out in right center field.
I have to imagine that Kevin Foley is going to win the Gold Glove Award for right field this year.
There's
And,
a lot of good names in it, though.
after
John,
after
yourself.
the season that he's had at the plate too,
Yeah,
he's got to be optimistic coming into next year.
yeah. But John, you've had a good season in right field. Cole Layton had a good season for the Astros for us out in right field, using his athleticism.
I think when it comes down to opportunities and capitalizing on those.
Oh,
as
and Jackson says
it's his second of the inning.
Jackson Poncho says, I'm
He
not
says-
just a
He
pitcher.
says, hey, Kevin, grab
I
that
am
one liner
not
down there.
just a pitcher.
Metter with the rare miss opportunity.
It was a hard hit, though. I
was-
think they're still going to give him a single on that.
And they
That was
should,
smoked.
but those are the plays we're used to seeing him make.
Hey, Jackson, while we got you over here, can we get a close-up of the facial hair? We were discussing it earlier. Just
I'm talking about
Just
just
right there.
Poncho.
Poncho.
Perfect. Oh, yeah.
yes. Thank you, sir.
Just showing off.
Good luck the rest
Hey,
of the
good
game.
hitting, dude.
Like we said, Jackson's
Those were
one of
bombs.
our favorites. He's
Yeah.
a fan favorite.
Also, probably the most humble hitter in the league. I tried complimenting him about 4 times yesterday, and he just shrugged it off. Like, that's his job.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure he's happy to get.
a lot of us come out here and
lot
we're all
more.
business when we're not on the air. So,
Oh.
wow. That's why
The
he
Yankees
is fun to watch.
are done.
That's why he's fun to watch.
The Yankees are done.
They're testing it. They're testing
the
it.
first Monday of the month.
It is the first Monday. Folks, we are not under a tornado warning.
But we're
It's
gonna
the
check,
first Monday
we're
of the
gonna
month, I
check
think,
the
right?
weather app just to be safe.
We're good. It's just a test. Be weird, suck if there was a tornado during the first Monday of the month.
Gentlemen, it looks like we have
Oh.
clear skies,
Oh,
and that's
He was
oh.
not running out of
And that's too bad because that would have been men on with 6 runs. So there was a chance for them to get 8 in that inning and not be stuck with the 7 runs.
And they could have kept going for singles and try to build up to that 17-run lead to get themselves in the playoffs. But
Yep.
you're right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't get out of the box quick enough. Even though he dropped it, he
Yeah.
kind of thought he was going to catch it.
Yeah. Looks like the Yankees
wow,
are
that
making
siren
a.
must be right there.
It looks like the Yankees are making a pitching change, and Scott Poley is coming in to relieve Jackson. Jackson going out to left field.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually agree with the move, and it's not a knock at Jackson. I think throwing him something new. They've been through the lineup several times. I hope the fans can hear my analysis here, but maybe they can't because of the siren.
We'll find out.
What I was saying was, I like the move because it gives a fresh look to these hitters who have seen Jackson 2 or 3 times through now, and this might actually help the Yankees' case to stay in this game.
Absolutely. And I think the Twins. Yeah, it
That is
seems
the
like
most
it's
annoyed
right
I've seen Scott Poley ever.
So either way, I think the Twins had 7 the last 2 innings against Jackson, or one of the last 2. So it makes sense to make a move here. They really need to hold them and put up big numbers the last couple of innings.
Now, unfortunately, they're the away team, so they're going to have to keep that in mind as we get closer to the end of this game. But it looks like their chances are pretty slim at this point.
Yeah, I'm
So,
thinking this is bottom 3. I don't know the score, but they need to win by 17 to have a chance. So at this point, it's not looking great.
Oh, and Edlow.
Especially when
Edlow
does
has
that.
Takes
at
one
least 3,
yard.
but probably 4 this game.
Plus, he's got 2 singles now, so Edlow's just on it. Scott Foley, the original,
Top 5?
Yeah,
the
it's not-
original knuckleballer of the
Thanks,
league.
Corey.
Thank you. So it is. So my
Oh.
mistake. It is top 5.
Hit the fence.
It hit
he
the
is
fence,
still
and he is
jogging.
just
that was
Taking that one a leisurely single there.
That was a grandmotherly stroll right there. I think he was a little miffed he didn't get it over.
I think so. Chris telling us before the game, struggling a little at the plate. It seems like he's found his groove now, though, right before the playoffs, so maybe that's good.
Well, it's good for them. I don't know if it's good for the other teams in this
That's
league.
true.
I think we're seeing Scott pitch very carefully to Spencer, and that is a move that I would also do as well.
Great play by Scott, keeping that foul.
The count's now 3-1, but not one of those balls was really hittable.
No.
And that's probably on purpose.
Yep.
And I have no problem with the strategy of
It's
pitching very carefully to Spencer Bogard.
Spencer Bogard, yeah, especially the way he's been playing today. Making it tough on him if he wants to get a hit.
I think he tried to hit him on purpose to get the 2 balls.
Yeah,
there.
he might be looking to
That was
load
hittable.
up.
Oh, he gave him a shot
He
there.
did.
I believe it's 6-2, maybe 7-2. We're not really sure here. Spencer knows.
That's all Spencer does. He counts home runs, singles.
It was 6-2. Now it's 7-2.
Oh,
I
and
don't know why you'd get him full
loaded
and give him
at that point.
ball right there.
Yeah, don't you just roll one up there and let him walk?
The way he's hit today, you think you'd have to.
He got him to full and just gave him a meaty meatball there.
Well, I mean, so it looks like it'll come to the bottom of the 5th. I think we can probably make the call. At the bottom of the 5th, if they're losing, they can only score enough to win.
Yep.
And if they're winning, they win. So I don't think they're up by 17. So
Yep.
it looks like it's going to be the Twins as a 3 seed.
Rockies in the 5 seed.
So that's an interesting matchup
It is.
now.
Yep.
Expos Rockies.
Yeah, while we had hoped for Rockies Brewers, 2-3, we're gonna get Expos hottest team into the playoffs against the Rockies and losing Brett, and we're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be really interesting. Will the Expos throw Brett against his old team, or will they roll with Jimmy and the intimidation factor?
I think the answer can only be answered by the captain, Kevin Wheatucker, so we don't know.
Yeah.
That decision will be made at the highest level.
Yeah.
And I think from the Expos perspective, we've been begging to get in the playoffs for years. Well, you got in, and this is what you get.
Yep.
You get the Rockies, you get the Twins, you get the Braves.
Yep.
Careful what you wish for.
Yep. You know what though? Of and he almost takes the home run away, just a couple inches away. But Kevin Wheatucker has made great decision after great decision after great decision this season. So not only is he gonna make the best decision for his franchise in that first game, but his team is on board and following his lead. They trust him.
Yeah.
You guys trust him.
Absolutely.
And I love the attitude of deferring to his decisions.
And we will give input, but whatever he wants to do, we're okay with. Like for instance, this morning he wanted to bat, and we're okay with it. We bat 6. It was all good. We beat the Braves with 6. And
Impressive.
Kevin had the biggest hit.
Just that statement alone, impressive. You beat the Braves, the #1 seed, hitting 6.
Yeah.
And in case people didn't hear what Brett said, Kevin had the biggest hit of the game in that game. It might be his only hit of the season. I think it actually is. But it could not have come at a more opportune time to get 2 on and bring Brett up. And Brett does what Brett does and puts the ball over the fence. And that was when I kind of knew that game was probably going our way. So kudos to Kevin. And you can see him over there in Shintown. He's strategizing right now. Look, he's looking at the analytics.
Yep.
He's thinking through the options.
Yep. Got those stats. He's looking up pitcher, batter, matchup stats. All the stuff that he can find on the Wiffle Ball website. Which
you know what?
The consummate analyst for sure.
And Spencer
does it again. I wish he would not do that.
He might have 6 this game.
I mean, it's at least 5. It might be 6. Hey, Benware, do you know why Kevin went with the long sleeves today?
I do not know why.
It's because he has something up his sleeve for you, buddy.
Oh,
I like that.
I like it. I'm excited for these playoffs.
I know, so it has to be a landslide.
This is the last one I got. Okay? Yeah, no, I'm fine with it.
And if you need a beer later, we got some for you over there in Shantytown. For all your hard work.
All right, so we go to the bottom of the 5th, and
Yankees just trying to keep some respect here.
So, hey, Sam, you know how many they're down?
Maybe even get to 5 and 5.
You don't know?
11.
Okay.
You know what? 5 and 5. Not obviously a disappointing season for the Yankees, but
I will say this: I think everyone is now rooting for the Yankees to do this, just so we can see it happen, right? I mean,
they
it would be exciting.
We just want to see it happen.
They can only win the game by 1.
Right. And
down to the wire.
we're sitting here watching Whitfield. Let's see a big last inning comeback from the Yanks.
Put up a lot of runs.
Especially now they're down there last out.
Like you said, the Yankees are one of the few teams that are able to do that because their lineup can.
They're built.
Yeah.
They're built for that.
Yeah, and
I would say they're built for comfort, not for speed. Right.
that's right. That's true. Yeah. John, you and I were actually talking about this earlier, but
It's gone.
Scott
that
just
pitch was at his
smashes.
that pitch was at his head.
It was
Scott
going to
can
hit him
hit
in the face.
It was gonna hit him.
That
in
was
the face.
probably
Scott can hit
self-preservation because that would
Yeah.
hit him in the face if he hadn't swatted over the fence.
John, you and I were talking about this earlier. It's tough when you give up even one 7-run inning. The Yankees have done it 2 or 3 times, and they're probably feeling still very comfortable that they have a shot at winning this game.
Well, that's where the mental component of the game comes in, because you're right.
Absolutely.
When you are in the field and you give up 7, it's tough to come back and refocus on hitting. You think you need to get all 7 right back in the same inning. The trick is you don't.
Yeah.
Get 3, get 4, get 5, come back the next, hold them, come back and make it up there.
Yep. Oh, and there's a ground ball to the worst person to hit a ground ball to, Chris Metter, and that is the game.
And that is the season, the regular season for the SWBL.
Regular season finale. So we have Braves #1 seed, Brewers #2.
Yep.
That puts the Twins #3.
Yep.
Expos #4, and
Rockies
they will play the
in
Rockies
5.
#5. So
We will be back soon with the playoffs. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and
Thanks to
enjoy.
both of you.
Thank you.